All right. Jeffrey says, I usually struggle from negative thoughts at work. Yeah. You and 94% of other people in the world. And the other 6%, as we talked about it, they're either lying or they're just oblivious to the fact that they have OCD and they have negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts. That's not a small number. 94% of people in the world have intrusive thoughts. The difference is that most of people, when they have intrusive thoughts and their brain is not in the glitch of OCD, they just recognize and say, wow, that's crazy, and then they move on. But the ones who have OCD, they get that stuck. As we talked about it before, part of the brain called caudate nucleus doesn't do its job as it's always designed to do it automatically. It kind of gets stuck and it doesn't release to say, okay, that's not of his interest, it's not according to his values, and the signal has come to us without him having to be involved, because we have access to the actual relevant signals that reflects the thought and tells us that thought is not acceptable, it bothers me, I'm not that, and we're supposed to shut that down, but the caudate nucleus gets stuck, doesn't shut it down, and that's because there's a glitch, malfunction in its mechanism. It's an electrical system, it's gone rather short-fused, or statics are not allowing it to do its job. And that's why then, if we don't separate ourselves from thoughts, then we believe what's constantly looping there, thinking it has a meaning, it has a suggestion, it's a deity, it's coming to me from above, it's something superior to me, instead of thinking that all these are beneath me. I am the superiors. Me. The me is the boss of thought and every other shit that happens in my head. If you understand that, then you will see that your inner values, true self, super consciousness, wise advocate, your core principles is what the judge over thought and activities of the brain is, not the other way around. Thought cannot change you. Thought cannot change things that are created in you when you were in the mother's womb. Your DNA, your genitalia, your gender, your sexual inclinations, all casted in stone. No change. You are what you are. Whatever you have been born as, that's what you embrace, and that's what your lifestyle will be the rest of your life. It doesn't matter what thought comes to your mind. The people who have these disorders of HOCD, and we're talking about heterosexuals in this particular case, they may have intrusive thoughts about that they're not heterosexual and that they're gay. And that thought gets stuck in there because it's HOCD, it's from a subset of OCDs. And then if you don't recognize that you're not thought, thoughts are not you, the me is separate from thought, then you get confused, try to data hunt and try to investigate rather than just simply say, that's not me, that doesn't represent me, and therefore leave it be. Let the thoughts be, and they will let you be by not engaging with it and continuing your way of life and not taking them seriously rather than becoming too alarmed, because that's what it is. We become alarmed because it's against our true self. Otherwise, we wouldn't be alarmed. We wouldn't be uncomfortable. We wouldn't be bothered. Because it's always attacks the opposite of what you are. In other words, whatever gender you are, it suggests to you that you're not that gender. It always attacks you opposite of what you are. So, in other words, to make it very easy for yourself, if you're attacked by whatever suggestions, that's real evidence for you that you are actually what you've always been. Because that's how the brain works. It attacks you with opposite of what you are. If you're heterosexual, it attacks you that you're gay. That definitely helping you to realize that you're sure as hell heterosexual. If it's the other way around, then that's what it is. Whatever you are, you are. That cannot be changed just because thoughts showed up. If you understand that, you separate yourself from thoughts, then you got it made, because you understand brain can malfunction. Thought are not you. You're not the brain. And then you're above it all. Therefore, these will just be like debris in a river. Come and go and let them go. Notice them, and that you're above it, and let them go. That's as simple as that. Let's go on to Jeffrey answer. Jeffrey, Roller Girl says, Mark says, does meditation help to combat negative intrusive thoughts because you have better control over your mind? You don't need to control your mind. You just need to direct your mind. Controlling is resisting, creating energy exchange, and which engages you, gets you involved in that loop. But directing your mind is taking the spotlight away from what you find it irrelevant. In other words, the less light you shine on something, the less it becomes bothersome, because it's not shining back. Simple. So you got intrusive thoughts. Meditation is very good. Why? Not because you control your mind, because through meditation you don't control mind. You release the mind. You release the mind to its natural state. You release the mind from every resistance, which brings natural flow of energy and harmony with nature, with universe, which brings stability. Right? So what you want to do in meditation, the reason you want to do it, because it strengthens your mind, your ability to relax, to bring mind into infinitely decreasing imperceptible ripples, and decrease the ripples of the mind, which means decreasing the distortions. And when you decrease the distortions, everything becomes clear for you. Like the surface of the pond, when it is windy and stormy and choppy or rainy, you can hardly see a reflection of anything, no matter what size. Even the moon is not reflected on the surface of water when it's choppy and windy, because it's distorted. You can see some light and you don't know what it is. A broken bulb, what is it? But if the same pond, lake, is calm, no distortions, it's so clear in the surface that even a dashing bird, not having yet arrived on the surface of the water directly, can be reflected, and you can see what's coming. It's so clear without distortions, that these negative thoughts don't find a place to hide in the distortion, the waves and the choppiness, because it's all clear. You can see they're all illusion. Why? Because thought has no existence, has no substance. It's an idea. It's a suggestion. But the brain doesn't understand the difference. The mind doesn't understand the difference between virtuality and actuality. And when it's something constantly is being suggested, it's like suggesting something to a weak mind. Like when you were a child and you're bullied, you believe that shit, whatever the other assholes are saying. So if your mind is actually weak, a suggestion of thought that comes in, even though it has no substance and actuality, brain and mind doesn't understand the difference between virtuality and actuality. It believes it, because the misconception is that you think You are thoughts that appear. You think thoughts is you. You have to understand, thought is not you. You are not thought. Thought is a tool, is the ability of the me, of you. Like your eyesight, it's an ability. Your eyes is not you, is your eyesight that makes you to judge what you see is relevant or not. You want to see it or you don't. It's a tool. Especially if you realize that 30,000 years ago we were strong and living and enjoying our lives with no distortion because there was no thought. That's why there were no questions of what I am, what my sexuality is or is not. It was all, you knew what it was and you were acting on what it was rather than thinking about, oh, today I am being suggested that I am not this that I've always been. And you buy into that shit to the point that you actually have your body checked all the time. Oh, did I get a reaction? Oh, I did. I think these are all created in the brain, and you fall for it because mind has certain powers that can cause certain thoughts to feel as if they're real by creating a certain reaction in the body. And that makes you think, oh, because there's a reaction, therefore that I am that what thought is suggesting. No, not at all. Thought has that power. You can see its power is so strong that if you can harness it and bring it under your command, it can do wonders for you in life to the point that you can actually defy gravity. Watch my video number 7. Video number 7 says, when the powerful mind malfunctions. You can see if you are in a healthy position and you learn how to use power of mind, it works to your advantage because it's a powerful tool. But if you don't understand it, it can go rogue and use that same power that it could be useful to what you want to achieve, use it against you in negative ways because it's undisciplined. This power that is undisciplined is not intelligent. If you don't harness it, it will go nuts and make you think you're a cow or you're a ship or you're a tree or you are this or your gender is not this or your gender is that. It can go nuts, make you do HOCD shit and believe all kinds of things that it's never true and never will come true, but because it has no discipline and you have not harnessed that power. That's why meditation is important, to be able to harness that power, put it to work for you. If you understand how this works and how it malfunctions, to be aware of it, mindful of what this is, you'll be successful in life, and whatever you want to achieve will help you to, because it is the horse you're riding. It will listen to what you command. But if you don't understand that it malfunctions, and it's malfunction time, you actually believe what it suggests, then you're fucked. Because then you're believing something that you have created a belief about. It's actuality, which has no actuality, no substance, no presence, and no reality to it. So if you can make this distinction, you got it made. Because then now you know the vehicle that you are driving can break down. And when it breaks down, you can recognize it. And when you recognize it, you can also fix it. That's how you deal with thought and brain. Not to think that what I'm writing is me. Well, no. That has a mind of its own. It can go take you to ditch or take you to places that you never wanted to be there. So understand your role and your relationship with thought is not one and the same. You're not the same thing. You're two different things. Understand? Capiche? Say yes. Say yes, the ones who understand. I want a feedback. And push that like button if you like. There are 21 of us here.